Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, the lives of innocent people hanging in the balance. Every word you speak a potential lifeline or a death sentence. In that moment, negotiation is not a polite exchange over a boardroom table. It is raw, urgent, primal. It is life itself. There is no room for compromise, no safe middle ground. You either win or you lose everything. Chris Voss lived those moments, not once, but hundreds of times, as the FBI's lead international kidnapping negotiator. He faced terrorists, bank robbers, and desperate criminals across the globe. He learned, through relentless experience and high-stakes failure, that negotiation isn't a game of logic, spreadsheets, and polite persuasion. It is an emotional, high-stakes dance of fear, trust, survival, and connection. In Never Split the Difference, Voss demolishes the old myth that negotiation is about splitting the pie in half. Because in the real world, whether you're bargaining for a hostage's life, a multi-million-dollar business deal, or your own future, compromise often means losing what matters most. To truly succeed, you must master the subtle, almost invisible art of guiding emotions, reading intentions, and building genuine rapport even in the tensest moments. This book is not just a manual for better deals. It is a blueprint for communicating at the highest level. It arms you with the tools to reshape conversations, diffuse conflict, and get what you want, not by overpowering others, but by understanding them so deeply that you make them partners in your success. Whether you're negotiating your salary, closing a critical business contract, navigating a family dispute, or fighting for your dreams, the skills inside these pages will redefine what you believe is possible. You won't just learn how to win negotiations. You'll learn how to win trust, how to win respect, and how to win lives back from the brink of despair. This is the world of Never Split the Difference, where every word counts, every silence speaks, and the ability to listen can be more powerful than the loudest demand. Welcome to the art of negotiation when losing is not an option. Your journey begins now. Part 1. The New Rules of Negotiation. Chapter 1. The End of. Yes, Chris Voss opens the book by throwing a grenade at everything you think you know about negotiation in his world. As an FBI hostage negotiator, splitting the difference isn't just a bad idea, it can get people killed. You can't meet halfway. When someone's holding a gun to a hostage's head, Voss realized early in his career, negotiation isn't about logic, it's about emotion. Human beings are irrational, even when they believe they're being purely businesslike. That's why traditional techniques, logic, compromise, win-win, fail in high-stakes moments. Instead, the best negotiators must work with emotions, not against them. Key idea: forget trying to force a yes. Your first goal should be to establish trust and connection through active listening. Yes is nothing without safety, comfort, and real understanding. Chapter 2. Mirroring. The secret power of how, before learning to persuade, you have to learn to make the other person feel heard. Chris introduces one of the simplest but most powerful psychological tools: mirroring. Mirroring means repeating the last three words, or the most important words, your counterpart says, in a questioning tone. Sounds silly. It's shockingly effective, because it signals deep listening and invites the other side to elaborate. Example: seller: I just don't know if I can lower the price anymore. You: lower the price anymore. Gentle, questioning tone. They feel like you're aligning with their thoughts, and they'll often spill more information you can use later. And here's where it gets really good. Mirroring makes people feel smarter and more in control, even while you subtly guide the conversation where you want it to go. Key tactic: use mirroring to slow the pace, gain intel, build trust, without ever coming across as pushy. Chapter 3. Labeling. Name the emotion. Now that you're making them talk more, it's time to label their feelings. Chris Voss teaches that naming the emotion someone is experiencing, even without them saying it, is a fast track to rapport. Example: it seems like you're feeling frustrated. It sounds like you're concerned about the timing. It looks like you're worried this might not work out. Notice the gentle language. It seems like, it sounds like, it looks like. This leaves room for correction, so you're never forceful, but more often the other person will lean in. Exactly. Yes, that's exactly it. When that happens, you're winning. You've created empathy and psychological safety. People are more likely to make deals with those they feel understand them emotionally, not just intellectually. Key move. Label negative emotions to diffuse their power, label positive emotions to amplify trust. Chapter 4. Beware of yes, master, no. Voss drives home one of his most counterintuitive but crucial lessons. No is not the end of the negotiation. It's the beginning. In fact, pushing for yes too quickly makes people feel cornered. When someone says no, they feel safe, protected, in control. You want to encourage a safe environment where no is welcomed, not feared. Instead of asking, "Can you agree to this proposal?" forces a yes. Ask, "Is this a bad idea?" Is now a bad time to talk. Have you given up on this project? These questions invite a no, but paradoxically, they open the door for real dialogue. People don't resist when they feel they have control. They relax, they tell you the truth, they might even negotiate with you. Key lesson. No is not rejection. No is protection and a gateway to deeper negotiation. Recap of Part 1. Forget about yes. Seek understanding, not agreement. Mirror. Repeat words to build connection. Label. Name emotions to build empathy. Embrace no, because it's actually where the real conversation starts. Part 2. The Art of Tactical Empathy. Chapter 5. Trigger the That's Right breakthrough. In Part 1, you learn to mirror, label, and embrace no. Now, Chris Voss reveals the ultimate turning point in any negotiation. Getting a that's right, not you're right. That's dangerous. When someone says you're right, they usually just want to shut you up and move on, but when they say that's right, it means they feel heard, understood, and aligned with you at a deep emotional level. How do you make it happen? By summarizing their perspective better than they can themselves. Example: it sounds like you've been working incredibly hard to meet these deadlines, and now you're worried that more pressure will risk the quality of your work. If you capture their reality accurately enough, they'll pause, breathe, and say, "That's right." Bingo, at that moment, you've cracked the emotional armor. Now they are open to influence. Key move. Aim for a that's right before you push for any deal. Chapter 6. Bend their reality. At this point, you've established rapport, but how do you shape the deal itself? Chris teaches that smart negotiators don't argue over the facts. They reshape perception of what's fair, urgent, and acceptable. 3 strategies to bend reality. 1. Anchor their emotions. Start with an intentionally extreme, but not insulting, offer to emotionally anchor the conversation. Example: if you're buying a car, hint at how expensive repairs might be before even mentioning price. 2. Use calibrated questions. Instead of telling them what to do, ask how they would solve the problem. How am I supposed to do that? This forces them to collaborate on your solution. 3. Let them go first, but be ready to pivot. Sometimes, letting the other party reveal their number first gives you crucial intel. But if they hesitate, be ready to throw out a range that favors your target zone. Key idea. People don't make decisions based on objective reality. They decide based on how they feel about their situation. Chapter 7. Create the illusion of control. One of the sneakiest, most powerful tools in negotiation is the calibrated question. Instead of making demands, you ask how or what questions that make them solve your problems. Examples: how can we solve this issue together? What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? How would you like to proceed? The magic here is psychological. They feel like they're steering the conversation. You're actually guiding them exactly where you want, and the best part, when people come up with your solution themselves, they'll defend it like it was their own idea. Key phrases. How am I supposed to do that? What's the biggest challenge you see in making this happen? Bonus tip. Use a gentle, calm, almost puzzled tone. It signals humility, not confrontation, which invites cooperation, not resistance. Chapter 8. Guarantee execution. The 7-38-55 rule. Even when you think you have a deal, people often slip away, ghost you, or backtrack. Chris explains that securing agreement isn't enough. You have to ensure execution. How? By mastering nonverbal communication. Here, Voss introduces the famous 7-38-55 rule of communication. 7% of a message is words, 38% is tone of voice, 55% is body language. If someone's words say yes, but their tone sounds hesitant or their body language is closed off, believe the tone and body language, not the words. Key habit: always check. Do they sound enthusiastic or reluctant? Are they relaxed or tense? Are they leaning in or pulling away? If the body and voice don't match the yes, it's not a real yes, and you need to dig deeper. Also, use calibrated follow-up questions to make them commit to next steps. What does the next step look like to you? How can we make sure this gets done by Friday? This makes them take ownership of the process, turning promises into real-world action. Recap of part 2. The goal is that's right, not you're right. Reshape their emotional perception, not just logic. Use how and what questions to control without seeming controlling. Watch body language and tone to detect real commitment. Part 3. The hidden forces that shape every negotiation. Chapter 9. Beware fair. It's the F-bomb of negotiation. Chris Voss says if you hear the word fair in a negotiation, you should immediately raise your guard, because fair is often a manipulative weapon, not a genuine standard. Examples: I just want what's fair. Translation: do what I want, or you're unfair. We've given you a fair offer. Translation: stop negotiating. People use fair to pressure, guilt, or corner you emotionally. How to respond smartly. Call it out calmly. I want you to feel you're being treated fairly. If you don't, let's talk about it. By doing this, you neutralize the tactic without getting defensive and pull the conversation back to real terms. Key rule: don't fall for the fair trap. Stay factual and empathetic, not reactive. Chapter 10. The power of deadlines and why they're mostly fake. Deadlines are one of the most common sources of panic in negotiations. If you don't sign today, the offer's gone. We need an answer by 5 p.m. or else. Chris reveals a big secret. Most deadlines are flexible and often invented to pressure you. Real deadlines are rare. Even when a deadline is real, like a business quarter ending, the consequences of missing it are usually less catastrophic than you think. Tactics to master deadlines. Ask gentle, calibrated questions. What happens if we don't finish by that date? This forces them to reveal whether it's a true hard stop or just posturing. Don't rush because of their timeline. Be willing to walk if they try to force a bad deal with artificial urgency. Key strategy: deadlines are leverage tools. Use them or defuse them, but don't fear them. Chapter 11. Find the black swan. Uncover the unknown unknowns. Here's where the real magic of world-class negotiation begins. Black swans. Chris defines black swans as unknown unknowns, hidden pieces of information that change the entire negotiation landscape once discovered. Example: imagine you're negotiating a salary raise, and you find out your boss is about to lose 2 top employees and can't afford more turnover. Suddenly, you have massive hidden leverage you didn't even know existed. How to find black swans. Stay curious and patient. Ask lots of open-ended, calibrated questions. Listen for subtle clues, not just big headlines. Watch for changes in tone, pace, or hesitations. Those often point to hidden pressures. Golden rule: there are always things you don't know. Find them and you control the game. Also, assume that everyone is hiding something, not out of malice, but because information is power. Your job is to surface what's hidden without making them defensive. Chapter 12. When the pressure's on, keep cool, keep listening. Negotiations can sometimes explode with sudden anger, fear, or confusion. That's when most amateurs panic and either fight or freeze. Chris teaches the opposite. Stay calm. Double down on tactical empathy. Listen harder. If someone blows up, label their emotion immediately. It seems like this is really frustrating for you. This does 3 things. 1. Acknowledges their feelings without agreeing or disagreeing. 2. Calms their emotional brain. 3. Gives you space to steer the conversation back toward reason. Advanced tip: when the conversation gets heated, lower your voice. Speak more slowly. This signals control and safety and often subconsciously draws the other person into mirroring your calmness. Mindset shift: when emotions surge, don't react. Observe, label, and guide. Recap of part 3. Fair is often a trick. Don't fall for it. Most deadlines are fake. Stay calm. Black swans, the unknown unknowns. Hold the real power. Pressure moments are your chance to lead with calm empathy. Part 4. Living the Negotiator's Life. Chapter 13. Use the 7-38-55 rule to master communication. Chris Voss points out that communication isn't just about words, it's about tone of voice and body language, and how you make people feel. The 7-38-55 rule explains 7% of meaning is in the actual words spoken, 38% comes from tone of voice, 55% comes from body language. In short, what you say matters far less than how you say it. Power move. Speak in a late-night FM DJ voice. Slow, deep, calming. Use positive, warm body language, relaxed posture, open gestures, steady eye contact. When people feel safe and respected, they reveal more, trust more, and negotiate more reasonably. Tactical reminder. People are not logical, they are emotional, when the heart to influence the mind. Chapter 14. Bend their reality. Sometimes people are stubborn or locked into a certain point of view. You can't bulldoze them, but you can bend their reality by how you frame things. How to bend reality. Anchor their emotions. Before you give a big number, like a price or offer, start by preparing them emotionally. I want to warn you, this might be a little higher than you're expecting. Set extreme anchors. Start with a number far outside the target zone. Not because you expect them to accept it, but because it shifts their mental expectation. Use loss aversion. People fear loss much more than they crave gain. Frame options around what they will lose by not agreeing. Example: if we can't work this out today, you might miss out on a critical opportunity we can't guarantee later. Chapter 15. Create the illusion of control. Negotiation success is about making the other side feel like the decision is theirs, even when you're steering the outcome. Chris's favorite tool: calibrated questions. Open-ended questions that start with how or what. Examples: how can we solve this problem together? What's the biggest challenge you see in making this deal happen? These questions put the burden on them to find solutions. Make them feel powerful and in control. Give you valuable insights about their real concerns. Advanced tip: if someone is stonewalling you, ask, how am I supposed to do that? It gently forces them to reframe and work toward a mutual solution. Chapter 16. The art of negotiating a no. Ironically, no is not a wall, it's a doorway. Chris teaches. People feel safe and powerful when they say no. No doesn't mean the conversation is over. It often means, I'm not comfortable yet. I don't fully understand. I need more information. How to use no as a tool. Encourage it. Is now a bad time to talk? They'll say no, and suddenly they're more comfortable. Redefine no as progress, not rejection. After hearing no, pivot to understanding what's behind it. Pro tip: no clears the fog. It lets real conversation begin. Chapter 17. Practice tactical empathy every day. Finally, Chris urges you to see negotiation not as a special event, but as a way of life. Every conversation, every interaction is a small negotiation. With your boss, with your spouse, with your kids, with yourself. Practice tactical empathy daily. Listen without judgment, label emotions, ask calibrated questions, seek to understand, not dominate. When you do this, you build better relationships, you get better deals, you move through life with more confidence, influence, and success. Bottom line: negotiation is not an active battle, it's a process of discovery. Final takeaway: negotiating as if your life depended on it doesn't mean being ruthless. It means being patient, empathetic, inquisitive, and fearlessly calm. Master the tools of tactical empathy, find the hidden black swans, and remember, the best deals are built on trust, understanding, and emotional intelligence. Negotiate everything, influence everywhere, win without fighting. Read the book to learn more. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries.